is Landon Bryant. He is the author of the book, Bless Your Heart, a field guide to all things Southern. It is from Running Press. It is a tongue-in-cheek anthropological dive into food, fashion, linguistics, culture, holidays, all the traditions of the American South. Landon's soft-spoken demeanor and these YouTube videos where he politely invites you to let's discuss have become quite a phenomenon, almost 500,000 followers now. And it all started, he was a public school art teacher in Laurel, Mississippi, where he still lives to this day. Y'all please welcome Landon Bryant.
Hey, y'all.
We're glad to have you.
I'm so glad to be here with you. What a lovely evening. Very literary.
Well, we're getting ready to fix that, aren't we, Landon? Man, there's so much stuff in this book. We were saying before the show, I could just go sit with you guys and let Landon do the rest of the show. And the book is so chock full of stuff. But one thing that, one of many things that caught my attention was you knew both sets of your great-grandparents.
I did, until I was in college, even.
I mean,
I got to know all of them, and I think it was really valuable.
Yeah, I had two grandmothers. I loved them both. I never had a grandfather, but not only grandparents, great-grandparents. Tell us about that.
And one of my great-grandparents' name was Grandpa Darlin, and his name was literally Darlin. But then they named my sister Anna Darling, so I never had a chance.
Wow, that's just what they did back then, right? This whole phenomenon of you with your book and your YouTube and Instagram had like so many of these stories, had a wonderful beginning, and it had to do with what you called Walmart High School.
It did. I can't believe that my whole career is made off of Walmart, y'all, but it really did it for me. I went to Walmart High School, though. Our school got blown down by a tornado. Nobody was there. It was spring break, so it was fine. But the best and brightest minds in Laurel got together and like, where do we put these kids? Well, we just got a new super Walmart, which honestly felt really fancy. And so the Walmart right next to the Kroger was available. So they pulled the shelves out of there, left the signs, put on Walmart vests, and invited us to school in a plywood cubicle maze in there, and it was really a time. Had show choir and layaway, cafeteria in the garden center.
Well, it must have worked. You're now...
I'm grateful for it, honestly.
A best-selling author at this point. Walmart High School. How could they resist that? That's too... Also, the word y'all, the contraction, I guess, is more accurate. And you see it, boy, doesn't it drive you crazy when they misspell y'all? Yeah. They get that apostrophe all over the place.
Unless you know where they're from.
Right.
That apostrophe.
Yeah. There's like they're from somewhere up north, like, I don't know, Memphis.
But y'all's a good one. I think it's so good. It includes everybody, you know. It's for everyone. It's when you get to all y'all is when you need to pay attention a little closer.
Right.
That could be you're all in trouble.
Yeah. That's when some of the Yalobushwhackers slip in, when it's all y'all. But y'all is so inclusive, I just think the whole country could stand maybe.
It's great. Y'all can all use it, I'd say. Everybody can use it.
A little y'all-ism. You've got also the word ugly. You've got a nice section on the word ugly, and we're not talking about appearances here, right?
Well, you can be being ugly, and it doesn't have anything to do with how you look. It's how you're acting. And are you being sassy? Are you talking back to your mom and them? That's all being ugly, you know?
Yeah, don't be ugly.
Don't be ugly.
I was told repeatedly. So what did I do? I was ugly. Also, how many different ways you can say I'm tired?
Oh, you can say you're tired in so many ways. You don't have any more get up. You give out. No gas in your tank. There's all sorts of ways to go about it. You just got to be colorful with it, you know. I think my favorite way to say that you're tired is a little extreme and exaggerated, but my grandma said it to me clear as day. She walked in my house and said, "Well, I'd have to feel better to die." And that's good. That's good, isn't it? That's so good.
That's serious.
It's serious.
That's a showstopper there.
It's time to pay attention.
The whole table stops eating and looks at Grandma. Are you okay? Also, and we talked about Walmart, and you mentioned Kroger. You differentiate between the two in the book. Tell us the difference.
Well, the Walmart is a different outfit than the Kroger's, you know. Like you can end up in, you could get away with wearing a house coat to the Walmart if you really wanted to, but you can't do that at the Kroger. The Kroger is a social situation, and you got to see everybody and their mama and all them in the Kroger. But Walmart, we're getting in, we're getting out. You know, it's business in the Walmart, and also school.
You could probably like wear your house shoes to Walmart, but you would never do that in Kroger.
Not in the Krogers, not unless you want to be put on the prayer list. And you can be put on the prayer list if you don't look out.
You strike me as a gentleman who's been on a few prayer lists.
I've been on the prayer list.
Yeah, man. And your family, I'm sure, they're the great-grandmas, did you have kind of longish hair when you knew them?
No, that was after them.
You waited
after them, didn't want to do that to them, you know.
There's another phrase that we all use, and I don't know if this is particular to the South, a while ago.
A while ago. And I love that because it could be right before this show, or it could be a decade or so ago.
That's the thing.
Like a while ago, I was at school at the Walmart. And that was in the early 2000s, a while ago.
Went home, changed clothes, dressed up, continued on to Kroger, right? Yeah, it's so true. How many of you say, well, you know, so-and-so happened just a couple of years ago, and your friends go, dude, that was 12 years ago. And you go, wow.
A minute ago even could be a few years if you don't look out.
It really is true. Obviously, in a book like this, there's going to be coverage of tomatoes and the wonderful tomato sandwich and the do's and don'ts. And the idea there are some people out there who grow tomatoes who have no intention of eating them themselves.
And our Southern Queen, Weezer Boudreaux, told us not to ask about that. It's just what we do. We wear ugly clothes and funny hats and dig in the dirt and plant tomatoes. And we don't know why, we just do it.
And what was her name again?
Weezer Boudreaux from Steel Magnolias.
Is she here today? Yeah.
No, she was here a while ago, somebody said.
A while ago. All right, you've got a list of things that horrify Southerners, and you've also got a list of things that Southerners love. Quickly, we'll go through a couple of the things that horrify Southerners. This one certainly caught my eye. A broken air conditioner.
A broken air conditioner. Horrifying. We can't handle that, but it's not something that we weren't made for that, you know?
Well, yeah, I mean...
We live in this hot tub of Vaseline. And so you gotta have an air conditioner for that. Things that'll horrify Southerners though, surprise unsweet tea, that's horrifying. But the one that really gets them, and if you want to have a video go really nuts on the internet, just mention a cast iron skillet and a dishwasher in the same sentence. I know, horrifying. People are falling out left and right in the audience.
You talk about striking a chord, man.
It gets them. That and mayonnaise pulls them out. Cast iron and mayonnaise, and you got an audience.
It is so true. Yeah, and dark meat in chicken salad.
I didn't even know that was possible. And somebody said that to me, and it's really stuck with me. It's been sitting on my heart since then.
I don't mean to offend you, but that doesn't particularly offend me. But
well, I'm not saying I'm offended by it. It just was a surprise. Surprise.
/ horrified. Oh, yes, and now the things we love to do in the South, and I love this one. We love talking about how the Weather Channel called us a landmass.
Love it. And I go all around the U.S.
still not
doing
over
stand-up. No, we're not over it, and I let everybody know everywhere I go. And I kind of point blame at everybody else a little bit, you know, like, did y'all do anything about it, or did y'all just let us be called a landmass?
Yeah, and you're down there in Laurel, and that was probably almost where they were pointing when
it felt like
when
it.
they said that. Yeah.
It feels like it. You know, they did it. Earlier this year, they said the area east of Louisiana and west of Alabama, which is Mississippi. And I'd never talk about anybody because I love Al Roker, but
Yeah.
it might have been him.
He might have forwarded on. You've also got the difference between all the dollar stores, the Dollar Tree,
Oh, yeah.
the Family Dollar, and of course Dollar General. We've seen, And there, you have them all delineated by merit and which one you want to go to defending.
Well, you've got different reasons, right? If you're going to the dollar store, then you're looking for party supplies of some sort, you know. The Dollar General, maybe some snacks. The Family Dollar's a little below the Dollar General, I would say. The Dollar General's really a top-tier general store, honestly.
The opinions expressed here on Thacker probably the author's own. We don't want to be sued by Dollar General. That would just make our day, wouldn't it? All right, you are a world-class talker, writer, commentator, and even did a stint as a stand-up comedian.
I did.
Probably the hardest job there is, second only to fielding a punt in the NFL. So I'm gonna get out of the way and let you talk to this audience solo. How about that?
All right.
Y'all please welcome again, Landon Bryant.
Well, y'all, made it all the way from Walmart up here with y'all is something else. That Walmart was a real good time, though, and even one of our history teachers wrote a song called Walmart High School, and it charted on the top 100 for a little while. That was really embarrassing. We were horrified by that. I learned about computers there, had computer discovery in the technology section of Walmart. No computers, but we had the sign, for sure. I had to take the state Algebra 1 test in that Walmart, so they just made a bigger cubicle in the middle. And this is all true. We took that Algebra 1 state test, and then about 6 weeks later, the literal governor of Mississippi pardoned us from that test. And that was the language he chose to use. He announced that we were pardoned. So I can't help you with like X plus Y. I'm pardoned. I can tell you that when you get to college, they don't mind if you're pardoned. They don't care. I kept telling them that I didn't need to do that I was pardoned, but they didn't seem to agree, you know. I love talking about all y'all is who I'm talking about in these things, and I love explaining bless your heart, but I really love talking about the prayer list that we've got going on here, because we've got two, you know. There's one at church, and it's important to keep up with sometimes with that one. It's fine, but the one at the beauty shop is the better prayer list. And I'll tell you, if we're talking about things that the Lord has laid on your heart at the beauty shop, that's a prayer list. It's not gossip if the Lord laid it on your heart, you know. But I'll also tell you that the best phrase to hear at the beauty shop is, well, it's not my business to tell. It's time to listen up. Time to listen up for that one. We have all these wonderful things though, and I love to talk about it. I will say that we have collectively gotten in trouble about our attitudes about tornadoes. I know we're scared of them. We are scared. We respect them. But also, if it's a tornado watch, we're kind of all like, cute. Thanks for watching out for us. And then it turns to a tornado warning, and we pay attention. We're perking up. We're turning on the TV. I'm going to know what's going on. Got my safe space ready. But when the weatherman, ours is Patrick Bigby, rolls his sleeves up, that's when we got to really pay attention. But I'll tell you where we got in trouble, and I'm doing my best to work our way back from this. But I did tell everybody that sometimes, and y'all can pretend like you don't, but I know that more than half of y'all in here, when that warning goes off, where are you headed? The porch. Our window. We're looking for that tornado. And what are we gonna do if we see it? Do we have a plan? I guess that's when we're going to the safe space. But I will tell you, the National Weather Service does not want you to say that on the internet. And they asked me to take that video down. So I blocked the National Weather Service, you know. Every now and then I'll unblock them and say something like, don't go to the porch tonight. And when they like it, then I'll be like, okay, I can move forward too. I had to block Jim Cantori too, because some of y'all sent my video that I made about how if you're in Jim Cantori's path, you're too late, you know? And that hurt his feelings. So don't talk about Jim Cantori like that, and don't send him my videos if you can possibly. I love to talk about grandma names though. We've got some real good grandma names here, and I think that's a good tradition, because you can be grandma. You can be grandma so-and-so. You can be grandpa so-and-so. You can also be a papaw. You could be a Gigi. She's got her Louis Vuitton Neverfull on her arm right like that. It stays there the whole time. You could be Lala's. You could be a Meemaw or a Mamaw. And I don't mean to call any Meemaws or Mamaws out, but Meemaw and Mamaw can both skin a deer, you know? And I know that's true because at all my stand-up sets, I'll say that, and somebody afterwards will come up to me and be like, I'm Mamaw and I can skin a deer. And I'm always like, I knew that. I knew that you could. But you know how I tell if I've got a wealthy audience or not? Like the level of wealth in the audience? I ask them, Do they know what a pallet is? Okay, well that wasn't a good response. I'm not sure what's going on here. Do y'all know what a pallet on the floor is? Okay, well, some people don't. And an illustrator in another book I got coming out drew a pallet as a literal wooden pallet with somebody laying on it. And that was surprising. But Meemaw and Memaw make real good pallets on the floor, but they also will skin a deer. And you gotta watch them. You could be just a word to be a grandpa name. You could just be like a Toby. I know a Toby and that wasn't his name at all. But he became Toby when he was a grandpa. In that same vein, I know a man who was a Tump. Like tump it over and it'll spill out. That was his chosen grandpa name. You could be whatever you want to be in the South. You just choose, decide yourself, and you can go from there. We've got all these wonderful traditions though, and I love sharing them with everybody. I love talking about the weather. We've got these hurricanes that we got to worry about, and we do. And we pay attention like we're supposed to. Once it's past like a category 2, then we'll start to pay a little bit more attention. We've also got some crazy animals around here that are really fun to talk about. I love to let people, people don't know what love bugs are at other places. And there's also quite a lot of contention around, is it a lightning bug or is it a firefly? I got really hollered at about that one time. But the thing I got hollered at the most was about deviled eggs. I made the mistake when I made the video of I was listing things you could put in deviled eggs. And I listed that one time, I saw somebody put Ritz crackers on top of the deviled eggs. And y'all hated that. And the Food Network called me. I didn't block them, but I did have to explain myself. And I just saw it the one time. It was just a one-time thing. I'm not telling everybody to put Ritz in your deviled eggs. As a matter of fact, people really don't like that. They don't like that at all. But they like it when we talk about mayonnaise. We love to talk about mayonnaise. And I love to build a pear salad. So let's build a pear salad, and then I'll leave y'all alone. How many of y'all are familiar with pear salads? All right, well, when I did this in California, I lost the crowd, and I never got them back. But a pear salad is lettuce, and that's just for vibes. You're not supposed to eat the lettuce. It's just vibes. Half of a canned pear, canned is important, then some mayonnaise on top of that, and that's where I lost you. And then a little bit of shredded cheese, and then a maraschino cherry on top if you're fancy. And that's a pear salad. And pear salad is just the truth.
Landon Bryant, y'all. Bless Your Heart, a field guide to all things Southern. It is from Running Press. Landon will join us after this show out front. Square Books has a table and a bunch of copies, and I hope we're here for 2 hours while he signs one for everybody here. It is worth it. It is wonderful, and he just scratched the surface just there. But man, Ritz crackers on deviled eggs. I mean, please. I don't know anything. I know that.